step out for what?
So there's a firearm in this vehicle. You're already speeding. You don't have anything on you. I'm separating you from the firearm.
Right.
All right. Are you gonna get out of the car or not?
I don't tell me why.
I already told you why.
You didn't
Pennsylvania
tell me
versus Mims. Are you getting out or not? Supreme Court case law. Are you getting out or not?
I don't know what it is.
All right. You need to get out of the car.
You're not telling me
If you
why.
do not get out of the car, you'll be arrested for obstruction. Okay.
All right. So
All right. So at this time, you are under arrest. You are not free to leave. You are under arrest.
I'm not under arrest.
You are under arrest. I'm informing you that you are under arrest.
I'm under arrest for what? Hold on, my lawyer calling. Hey, so a police officer is right here telling me I have to step out my car.
Yes, sir. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, my son detained.
Yes, sir. He's currently under arrest for obstruction.
Okay.
As well as a variety of other traffic charges. Yeah, he was caught doing 70 in a 45. He was instructed to step out of the vehicle because there was a firearm on the dashboard, and we wanted to separate him from that, and he refused.
Did he express his fear for safety?
King Harris arrest footage is going viral. And the reason people cannot stop talking about it is not just because of the traffic stop itself. It is because the video captures a moment that feels bigger than a simple roadside encounter. It shows tension, attitude, authority, and then, right in the middle of it all, it shows T.I. arriving at the scene. And that one moment changes the energy of the entire clip. Because once T.I. appears, this is no longer just another body cam video making the rounds online. It becomes a celebrity family story playing out in real time, with police officers, a heated exchange, and a father stepping into a situation that already appears to be out of control. The footage, which has now spread widely across social media and entertainment blogs, opens with an officer following the vehicle and commenting on the speed. The officer says the car had slowed down, but only to around 60, and then says the driver had been doing over 70 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. Right away, the tone is serious. This is not presented as a warning stop or a casual conversation. The officer approaches with concern already in his voice, and within seconds, the interaction starts moving toward confrontation. What makes moments like this go viral is not just what happened, but how quickly the situation escalates in front of the camera. When the officer reaches the driver's side, he identifies himself and explains the reason for the stop. The driver, identified as King Harris, appears surprised and says he did not know. The officer then asks for a driver's license, and the exchange immediately starts to reveal another issue. King does not have the license physically on him. The officer asks whether he is the registered owner of the vehicle, and King says no. On its own, that might have remained a routine traffic stop with a citation or further questioning. But then the officer shifts the interaction in a different direction and tells him to step out of the vehicle so they can talk near the back of the car. That is when the entire mood changes. Instead of stepping out, King questions the request. He asks what it is about. The officer tells him to get out of the vehicle, then explains there is a firearm in the vehicle, and says he is separating him from the weapon. That detail becomes central to everything that follows, because from the officer's perspective, the presence of the gun raises the stakes immediately. From there, the exchange turns into a back and forth over authority, compliance, and what King believes the officer has the right to demand from him in that moment. The officer says he already gave the reason. King continues to resist. The officer cites legal authority and warns him that refusal could lead to obstruction. This is the exact point where the video shifts from a speeding stop into something much bigger. What people online are reacting to is how long the standoff continues after that warning is given. King repeatedly says he does not feel safe and wants a valid reason. The officer keeps insisting that the reason has already been provided. On body cam, moments like this often become flashpoints because viewers split into different camps almost instantly. One side sees a driver refusing a direct command from police during a lawful stop. The other side sees someone trying to assert his rights and slow the situation down before doing anything he is uncomfortable with. That split is part of why this footage has exploded online. It is not just a video, it is a debate machine. Everybody watches the same clip and walks away with a different conclusion. Then King gets on the phone. He calls his lawyer while still inside the car, and that adds another layer to the story. Because at this point, the body cam footage is no longer just about the officer's commands. Now, viewers are watching someone try to bring legal advice into a fast-moving roadside encounter while the officer is still actively ordering him out of the vehicle. The officer tells him he is not even under arrest yet and that he is being detained, but that if he continues refusing to step out, he will be arrested for obstruction. King still does not move. The tension rises because both sides appear locked into their positions. One side is demanding immediate compliance. The other side is demanding more justification before giving it. Eventually, the officer states that King is under arrest. Even then, the exchange does not end instantly. King continues speaking, including on the phone, while the officer repeats that he is under arrest and needs to exit the vehicle. This part of the footage is especially important because it undercuts the idea that the arrest happened out of nowhere. The officer can be heard giving repeated instructions, repeated warnings, and repeated explanations tied to the firearm in the vehicle and the refusal to step out. Whether viewers think the officer handled it well or badly, the footage clearly shows that the arrest point came after a prolonged refusal rather than as an immediate first move. That is one of the reasons the clip has become such a talking point online. People are not just reacting to the arrest, they are reacting to the buildup. And once King finally gets out, the body cam keeps revealing new details that complicate the public conversation even more. During the exchange, the officer also mentions an open THC container in the center console. He asks who is going to pick up the car and the gun. King begins giving instructions over the phone about where they are and who needs to come. The mood at this point is strange because the scene is both intense and procedural at the same time. On one hand, the arrest decision has apparently been made. On the other hand, practical questions about the vehicle, the firearm, and pickup arrangements are already being discussed. That kind of contrast always makes body cam footage more gripping because viewers see the emotional side of the stop and the administrative side unfolding together. Then comes the part that pushed this clip into a completely different category of virality. T.I. arrives, and the second he appears, the story stops being just about King Harris and starts becoming about the Harris family in public once again. Because T.I. is not just any father showing up at a traffic stop. He is a major public figure, a rap icon, a reality television personality, and someone whose family life has been discussed in public for years. So when viewers see him walk into this scene, it hits differently. It feels like a private family problem crashing directly into a police matter already being captured on body cam. T.I.'s arrival is also one of the most talked about moments because of how restrained it appears to be. He approaches the officers and asks about his son. He is told that King is currently under arrest for obstruction as well as a variety of other traffic charges. The officers explain that King had been caught doing 70 in a 45, that there was a firearm on the dashboard, that they wanted to separate him from the weapon, and that he refused repeated commands to exit the vehicle. T.I. appears to ask whether there is any way to resolve the situation. The answer is no, and that exchange says a lot. It shows that even with the famous father at the scene, the officers were not prepared to reverse course once the arrest process had started. That is one reason the video feels so compelling to people. Celebrity usually changes the atmosphere around an incident, or at least people assume it will. But here, the body cam footage seems to show the opposite. T.I. arrives, speaks calmly, asks what can be done, and is essentially told that the matter has already moved too far. That does two things at once. It humanizes him because he looks like a father trying to figure out what is happening with his son, and it intensifies the clip because it shows that his presence did not suddenly make the situation disappear. For viewers, that creates a kind of dramatic irony. The star power enters the frame, but the outcome still looks fixed. The internet, of course, has taken that moment and run with it. Some people are focusing on King's attitude throughout the stop, saying the footage shows someone escalating his own situation by refusing what they see as a lawful order. Others are focusing on the officer's approach and the broader reality that police commands during traffic stops can turn confrontational very quickly. And then there is a third lane of commentary, the one that always follows celebrity family stories. In that lane, the discussion becomes about parenting, privilege, fame, and whether King Harris behaves like someone who has grown up insulated from consequences. Once that narrative attaches itself to a clip, the footage is no longer judged only as a police encounter. It becomes part of a larger story people think they already know, and that larger story matters. King Harris has not been viewed by the public as an unknown figure for a long time. He is the son of T.I. and Tiny, and that means he has grown up under a spotlight that most people can barely imagine. Audiences have seen members of this family on television, in interviews, on social media, and in public controversies for years. So when body cam footage involving King appears online, viewers are not watching with a blank slate. They are bringing assumptions with them. Some see a young man trying to establish himself while constantly being judged through the lens of his last name. Others see someone who has benefited from fame and still manages to end up in repeated situations that reinforce criticism. That baggage changes how every second of the clip gets interpreted. What also makes this footage so shareable is that it plays directly into one of the internet's favorite formats, the moment where confidence meets consequence. In the video, King pushes back, questions the officer, insists he wants a valid reason, and does not immediately yield even after being warned about obstruction. To many viewers, that reads as a young man testing the limits of the situation in a way that was never going to end well. To others, it reads as someone trying not to be rushed into compliance without understanding why. But either way, the scene has the structure that viral clips thrive on. There is tension. There is repeated warning. There is a moment where everyone can see the situation tipping, and then there is the outcome. The lawyer call makes the clip even more fascinating because it introduces a different kind of power into the scene. On most viral traffic stop videos, the conflict stays entirely between the officer and the driver. Here, there is an attempt to bring legal counsel into the middle of the standoff. The officer says that it was not until King's lawyer called back and told him he needed to get out of the car right now that he finally complied. That detail matters because it suggests that the voice King trusted most in that moment may not have been the officers, but his attorneys. It also changes the emotional structure of the clip. The scene becomes not just about defiance, but about persuasion and who ultimately had the authority to break the deadlock. Then there is the firearm issue, which is impossible to ignore because it sits at the center of the officer's explanation for why he wanted King out of the vehicle in the first place. The officer makes it clear that the weapon is a key concern. For many viewers, that immediately justifies a higher level of caution from law enforcement. For others, it raises questions about how clearly that concern was communicated and whether the stop might have been de-escalated differently. But regardless of interpretation, the presence of the firearm changes the lens through which the entire exchange is viewed. This was not merely a speeding stop in the officer's mind. It was a speeding stop involving a weapon within reach of the driver. T.I. Its presence, though, is what gives the video emotional weight beyond the legal and procedural debate. The moment he appears, people stop just watching a confrontation and start watching a father deal with the fallout of his son's decisions in public. And there is something about that which instantly grabs attention, especially when the father in question is someone as recognizable as T.I. The footage does not show some explosive intervention or dramatic shouting match from him. Instead, what makes it powerful is the opposite. He seems to arrive after the crucial decisions have already been made. He asks questions. He listens. He appears to look for an off-ramp, and he learns there really is not one. That quiet helplessness may be the most revealing part of the entire clip. It also fits into a pattern the public finds irresistible: the collision between celebrity image and ordinary consequence. For years, T.I. has projected many identities at once: rapper, businessman, father, cultural voice, family man. In this clip, viewers are not seeing the performer or the public speaker, they are seeing the father. And unlike in a controlled interview or reality show setting, there is no script inside the footage itself. That is why body cam videos involving known public figures spread so quickly. They feel unfiltered. They appear to catch people in moments where image management takes a backseat to reality. Whether that impression is fully accurate or not, it is the feeling viewers get, and that feeling drives virality. There is also a generational element to the reaction. A lot of people watching this footage are not just commenting on the arrest. They are commenting on what they think the footage says about young celebrities, about second-generation fame, and about children of wealthy or successful public figures, navigating the world with a different sense of confidence. The clip becomes evidence for whatever argument viewers already want to make. Some say it proves that too much privilege creates a disconnect from consequences. Others say it shows exactly why young black men, famous or not, may not feel comfortable during traffic stops and may respond with hesitation, suspicion, or resistance. That is another reason the video refuses to stay in one box. It touches too many cultural nerves at once. At the center of all that noise, though, is a very simple sequence of events. An officer says King Harris was speeding. The officer says there was a firearm in the vehicle. King is asked to step out. He does not. He questions the order, says he does not feel safe, and asks for a valid reason. The officer repeats himself and warns him about obstruction. King continues resisting the command. A lawyer call happens. He is told he is under arrest. Eventually he exits. Then T.I. arrives and asks if anything can be done. That sequence is why the footage matters. No matter how much commentary gets layered on top of it, those are the moments people keep replaying and arguing over. And maybe that is the real reason this body cam clip has gone so viral. It is not because the facts are especially complicated. It is because the footage feels like a mirror, reflecting back whatever viewers already believe about police, fame, fatherhood, respect, power, and consequences. If someone thinks compliance should come first and questions later, the clip confirms it. If someone thinks traffic stops become dangerous, precisely because authority is often asserted without enough care for how it feels on the other side, the clip confirms that too. Add T.I. stepping into the frame, and suddenly the whole thing carries the emotional charge of a family drama unfolding in public. There's also the matter of timing and visibility. In the current online environment, clips do not just spread because they are dramatic. They spread because they are immediately legible. And this one is. Within a few seconds, viewers understand the stakes. Within a minute, they understand the conflict. A few minutes later, they see T.I. show up. That structure is perfect for the internet. It creates anticipation, escalation, and payoff. Even people who never would have searched for a full body cam video are likely to stop scrolling when they see a headline connecting King Harris, an arrest, and T.I. arriving on the scene. The story practically markets itself. At the same time, what keeps people watching is not just the celebrity angle, it is the discomfort. Watching someone keep refusing an officer's command while everyone knows where that road is likely leading creates a kind of tension that is hard to look away from. Viewers are waiting for the moment the deadlock breaks. They are waiting to see whether the officer backs down, whether King finally complies, whether the lawyer changes things, whether T.I. can somehow smooth it over. And because the video answers those questions one by one, it becomes incredibly sticky. People do not just watch it once. They replay it, clip it, post segments, and argue about exactly where everything went wrong. In a strange way, the most powerful image in the whole incident may not even be the refusal itself. It may be T.I. arriving just late enough to witness the consequences without being able to prevent them. That is the kind of moment audiences lock onto because it feels symbolic. A father can have fame, money, recognition, and influence, but he still cannot rewind the seconds before he got there. He still cannot take back the commands that were ignored. He still cannot undo the choices already made in his absence. And when viewers sense that kind of helplessness in a public figure, it gives the footage a layer of gravity that ordinary viral clips usually do not have. So now, the conversation keeps growing. Some people are asking whether King made the situation worse than it needed to be. Others are asking whether the officer's tone and escalation strategy deserve more scrutiny. Some are focusing on the firearm. Some are focusing on the refusal. Some only care about the fact that T.I. showed up. And that may be exactly why this footage has staying power. It is not a one-note clip. It is a clip with multiple entry points for outrage, sympathy, criticism, and debate. Everybody finds a different main character in it. For some, it is King. For some, it is the officer. For some, it is T.I. But what cannot be denied is that the footage has already done what viral celebrity-adjacent bodycam clips always do. It has pulled a private crisis into a public courtroom made of comment sections, reaction channels, reposts, and hot takes. And once that happens, the original incident almost becomes secondary to the story people build around it. That story now includes King Harris, a tense roadside exchange, repeated police commands, a lawyer on the phone, mention of a firearm and other charges, and finally T.I. stepping into the frame at exactly the moment when the emotional stakes peak. That is why this clip is everywhere. It has all the ingredients people online know how to turn into a spectacle. In the end, the footage is going viral after T.I. appears because his arrival turns a controversial stop into something bigger than law enforcement. It turns it into narrative. It turns it into family. It turns it into a public reckoning over behavior, consequence, and image. The body cam does not just show an arrest. It shows a standoff, a decision point, and the aftermath landing in real time on a father's shoulders. And whether viewers walk away blaming King, questioning the officers, or simply shaking their heads at how fast everything spiraled, one thing is clear. The moment T.I. steps into that frame, the video stops being routine and becomes unforgettable.